been a while. Haven't done my video diary in quite some time, but this is a crazy, crazy, crazy week. It's amazing. I keep hoping I can do one of these sometime and just have it absolutely happy, upbeat, outgoing, inspirational. But oh, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. See, there's a lot that went on last week for being the first week of school, but one of the things that happened was there's some things that went on probably really unnoticed, untalked about. Maybe they were just unknown. One was I was driving into work to school on Blanchard, and I passed a woman alongside the road. She was in a blanket, hair kind of standing on end, and I looked, and she's right across from the mailbox. Normal place I see people go get mail, and I just thought, oh, going to get the mail. I got to school, and one of the teachers stopped in and says, hey, how long you been here? I said, about 5 minutes for you. See the woman alongside the road? I said, yeah, there was one getting the mail in a blanket. She was, well, she was sitting, and she was sitting, rocking back and forth alongside the road, looking towards the school. And I was like, what? She's still there? So that seemed kind of weird. So I texted Chief Sawyer, and he called me back instantly. He says, wow, Jay, that's a trip. It just came over the scanner. Just sending a car out there. I'm going to take a ride out. So he came to find me a while later. Turns out, young lady up at a college, been at one of the local bars, remembers nothing for the previous about 8-9 hours. Somebody dropped something into her drink. They had to. She was completely out of it. All she could say is, I got to find my phone. I got to find my phone. Got to find my phone. Did I mention underneath the blanket she was naked? She had no clothes on. Somebody had dropped her. That was right here in Mount Pleasant. All I could picture, two things. What if that was my daughter, my son? And what kind of piece of shit does that? It's a scary world we live in. Now, the details haven't been released. She was taken to the hospital. I've heard nothing on kits, tests that were run or done. I just know that in my brain, there was probably roofied in the drink because some slimeball thinks that that's cool to do. And then take a human life and drop it off in the back roads. Thank God it was in Shepherd where people would have known. I'm kicking myself right in the butt because all I could think about is, why didn't I stop? And I'm going to tell you, it looked like any other person crossing the road to get the mail in the morning. You know, grab a blanket, quick cover up, and go. But it's I'll look twice again. That ever happens again because it really bothers me. On top of that, the next day, I found out one of our girls was on her way to practice and had a car following her with hazard lights on. Followed her around the block. She turned a couple of blocks, went a different couple directions. Car followed, car followed, car followed. Flashing lights, honking horn, trying to get her to pull over. And thank God she didn't. She got here safe. The car went out to the front of the parking lot by the high school and sat there. This is like between 6 and quarter after in the morning. Normally I'm there. I had caught a late flight in from Minnesota. I slept in. I didn't get to school till about 6:45, but I made sure that every single one of my classes has my cell phone number. I wrote it on the board. They've got it on their syllabus anyway. Something like that ever happens again, get me a call because I'll dial 911. Then I'm going to my car and I'm getting in the parking lot. I'm going to go watch these kids because you come onto our campus and you screw with our kids. I got such a problem with that because there's some strange people out there. And I still remember talking to one of my former students who's a very good friend of mine now. When he was on a college campus, he had gone to a party that was primarily guys playing cards, Texas Hold'em, all kinds of stuff. And next thing you know, this person woke up in Park Library on the lawn, completely unaware of what had happened over the last 8 to 9 hours. Somebody dropped something into his good old red Solo cup at that kegger that they had on campus. Luckily, his brother searched for him because he'd been getting tons of texts, was so incoherent, couldn't get it, but his brother never gave up, which was a good thing. His brother got to him and found him, but it was a scary situation. Hate to say this, guys, but guys get raped too. You don't believe it? There's enough documentation out there. There's people out there that'll pretty much do anything. So when I did this, I've been thinking about this for so long. I talked to every single one of my classes, and Chief Sawyer was kind enough to come into debate class and share the story with us and talk about what it is. Here's the bottom line. Now, some of you might want to knock me because I'm not saying don't drink, don't go to parties, don't do this, don't do that. That's not my message. My message is simple. If you go to the bathroom and you leave your drink somewhere, and it could be Mountain Dew, you could be drinking a pop, you could be drinking water, whatever. You don't always have to go to a party and have alcohol and have beer. You get a new drink, dump the drink, rinse the cup out, get a new one. It's not that hard. I keep looking at it and I'm going, I know what the parties used to charge when I went. $3 at the door, $5 at the door, hand you a red Solo cup. You know, a lot of times I'd go with a big gulp. I didn't feel like drinking. So I'd go with a big gulp. But you set it down and you go to the bathroom, leave it unattended, dump it, get a new one. And if somebody laughs at you or somebody makes fun of you for doing it, look them right in the eye and say, I have to. I've got this crazy English teacher who's going to beat the hell out of me if I don't. And they're going to go, what? And it'll change the topic and it'll take it off of you and it'll put it on me, button in where I probably don't belong. But the thing that gets me the most is why take a chance? Why take a chance? This happened about 5 miles from us up in Mount Pleasant. And the girl was dropped 1.5 miles out of town in Shepherd. We had another one followed on campus. The story I told you about with my former student, that happened on campus. And you think it can't happen to me? All I picture is that 20-year-old girl that came here at the start of school, so excited for the school year to start. Her whole life has changed. Her whole life has changed in a night because of some subhuman just piece of... You've got to be aware. We're doing the Alice training and it talks about awareness. Be aware. Take your drink with you. Don't set your drink down. Don't drink. Have a sealed bottle. Have a straw. Have something, but keep it in your hand. Luke was telling us that, you know, in debate class, there's a high percentage of attacks are done by somebody who knows them. Date rapes, acquaintance rapes, and all these different types of things that come. I worry so much because my boys now are 10, 11, and 12. 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. I've been teaching 28 years. These are hitting a little bit too close to home for my comfort level. So I want to just create an awareness. It's plain and simple. Be aware. Watch your drink. Don't set it down. Take it with you. And if there's any hesitation whatsoever, go get that nail polish, ladies. Get that nail polish that when you stir your drink, it'll change the color if there's anything but alcohol in it. I'm also told, and I gotta go find out for sure, there's a thing in the back by the pepper spray and all that. You can get a substance that you drop it in your drink and your drink will turn a different color if there's anything but alcohol in it. It'll test for drugs and narcotics that have been put in there. Because it's a scary world we live in. If I don't put this out there, if I don't take a chance and send that and let you know how close it is, and with a college campus right here and things going on in our campus, and something happens, I'll never forgive myself. Be pissed off at me because I butted my nose in where you might think it's not supposed to be. I can live with that. Because once again, I go back to the Kit Kat Bar video. I don't live by your rules. I live by mine. And this is my life. And if I made a mistake here doing this, so be it. But I'll do anything to protect kids, because anybody that violates a kid, animals, I'm sorry. I have very bad thoughts for you if I ever come across you or you ever mess with my family. And part of my family, Shepherd Public Schools. Stay off our campus. My name's Jay.